talking about choleric. I was talking about choleric strength and weaknesses. We've talked about the strength. The weaknesses are aggressive, domineering, inflexible, impatient, rude and tactless, argumentative. I like to argue a lot until lately they had to drop it. Unable to relax. Oh God, I don't relax. So. Uncomfortable around emotion. Yes, I'm a very emotional person. Low on empathy, discouraged by failures. Yes, I get so discouraged by failure. If I fail one time like this, I don't even want to go there again. Too busy for people, intolerant, a leader who demands loyalty. You see, this last one is a weakness. I am a leader who demands loyalty, but over time, I have discovered that everybody cannot be loyal to you. You know, so I was like, I kept getting, I kept hurting myself because I want people to be loyal to me. So, you know, so all these things are the strengths and the weaknesses of choleric. Then sanguine. If you're a choleric by now, you should know that, oh, I think I'm a choleric. And another thing is that you might not be 100% in a personality. You might be like maybe 70% here, 30% there, or 60%, or even 3 personalities. You might share traits in maybe 3 of them, but most of the time it's always 2. It's always so sanguine now. Their strengths, they're sociable, charismatic, outgoing, confident, warm-hearted, pleasant, lively, optimistic, a fun lover, spontaneous, a preventer of dull moments. These are the people that they will say, never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. A quick apologizer. They apologize very quickly. They don't hold grudges. An easy friend maker. They make friends easily. Like me, I can be in a place for months and I will not have one single person I talk to. I won't have a friend. I will just be going there, just come out, go there, come out, and that's all. You know, so but sanguine people are people who make friends very easily. If they get to a new environment now, within 15 minutes, they're already friends to everybody. Oh, Chipemiko, how are you? Oh, Bisola, I love your dress. So those ones are sanguine. So what is their weakness? Or what are their weaknesses? They are very impulsive, chronically late. They are perpetual latecomers, shameless, forgetful, and compulsive talker, too loud. They are very, very loud people. They talk anyhow. They talk in the bus. They talk in the salon. They talk, they talk everywhere and anyhow. Sometimes too happy. They can be distractible, not interested in following through with the tasks that are boring. They don't like boring things. Self-absorbed and exaggerator. They exaggerate a lot. You say, if you see that girl, oh, she is so big. Maybe the lady is not even fine. They will just describe the thing as if, they exaggerate a lot. Someone who appears unauthentic. Sometimes they can also be fake. They can try to fake it, just to appear good in the eyes of people. Phlegmatic. What are the strengths of phlegmatic? They are relaxed. They are quiet and calm. These are people that don't like trouble. Content with themselves. They are contented with whatever they have. They don't do borrow posts. They don't live a fake life. They are kind. They are consistent. A steady and faithful friend. Accepting, affectionate, diplomatic, peacemaking. They are peacemakers. They love peace. Rational, curious, observant. They'll just do like this and be observing you. They are not easy friend makers. They don't really make friends easily. What are their weaknesses? Sometimes shy, fearful of change. They don't like change. Prone to laziness. They are lazy people, phlegmatic people. They are prone to laziness. If you don't handle them with levity hands, if you don't handle them with strong hands, they might not work. They are very lazy. I have one of them like that as a child. He's phlegmatic. If you don't force him to work, he will not work. They can be stubborn, passive and aggressive, indecisive, permissive, not goal-oriented. They are not goal-oriented. They are not moved by anything. I want to be a this. I want to be a this. That one doesn't concern them. They are not really ambitious people. Unenthusiastic, too compromising, undisciplined, sarcastic, discouraging, non-participative. So these are the features of phlegmatic. Melancholy. They are strength. They are thoughtful, considerate, conscious, organized, and excessive planner. They do things too much. They say, no, you cannot put this one there. This one needs to be here. You know, they want their thing like they don't want any disorganization whatsoever. These kind of people can be good as event planners. Okay, so I didn't talk about the role, the job. Some of these sanguine people, they can be actors. They will be good for salesmen, selling and marketing. They will be good as speakers. So I think this is where I picked my speaking ability as a sanguine. You know, I told you I'm choleric and sanguine. So for phlegmatic, some of the job they can do is diplomats. They can be diplomats, ambassadors, they can be accountants, they can be teachers, they can be technicians. Then melancholy, they can be artists, musicians, inventors, philosophers, and doctors. So what are the strengths of melancholy? They are thoughtful, considerate, cautious, organized, and excessive planners, schedule-oriented, detailed, highly creative in poetry, arts, and invention. They are independent. They are good at preventing problems. What are their weaknesses? They are obsessive. They are too cautious. They are prone to depression, prone to moodiness, perfectionist, pessimistic, difficult to please, deeply affected by tragedy. These are people who are, when they are grieving at the extreme. You know, a person with tunnel vision, sometimes a procrastinator, discontent with themselves and others, prone to play the mat. So, like I said, we won't be able to take all of those training because of time constraints. This is where we are going to be stopping today. So we still have some other personality types, like I said. We have the DISC, we have the CPA, and we have the introvert. I think introverts and introverts, most of us, we are conversant with them. Or introverts are people who are conservative, who are calm. You know, they are like phlegmatic people. You know, and extrovert is the opposite. So we won't be able to go through all these personality traits, personality types, like I said. And this is where we're going to be stopping for today. As regards this training, this is where we're going to be stopping because it's supposed to be a 45 minutes training and it's already 45 minutes. It's supposed to be a 40 minutes training where we use 5 minutes for questions, but we've already spent 45 minutes. So we believe that you've been able to get value even from these little ones that we've done. So now that you understand your personality, now from these 4 now, you can tell which one is your personality. If you now see another person behaving in a certain way, you already know that, oh, it's not because they are wicked or they are bad people, it's just because this is their personality. And this is the weakness. So I really wish that all of us can understand this personality development thing. The workplace would have been a very good place for all of us because we will understand why somebody is being aggressive and how to handle them. Another trait of choleric that they did not mention here that I would like to mention is that they are defensive. They don't want to accept their mistakes. They don't want to be seen as someone making mistakes. They don't like correction. They don't like people correcting them. So when you tell them, oh, this B is supposed to be before, so they'll say, you know, they are very defensive. So if you are choleric, you need to watch out for that thing. And if you see someone who is a choleric and is doing that, you should not, this is their attributes, this is their traits as a choleric, then you will need to manage. Because the truth is that most of the time we want to change people. But the truth is that you cannot change anybody. You can only manage people. You cannot change anybody. You can only manage people. So you need to manage that part of them. Probably you won't be correcting them. Or maybe if you want to correct them, you won't correct them in public. These are people you don't dare correct in public. If you have to correct them, you have to correct them in private. Or you correct them using discreetly. You know, being tactical. You need to be tactical about it. You need to be diplomatic about it when you're trying to correct them, because you know that this kind of people, they are very defensive. So I believe that with all this understanding that we have this evening, we have been able to understand what personality development is all about and how we can consciously and intentionally develop our personality. If you have been able to identify your personality type, then you should start looking at the weaknesses. What are the weaknesses of this personality? How can I manage it? I can now reduce it. How can I watch it? What are the strengths of this personality type? How can I leverage it? For instance, now, one of the strengths of being choleric is that we are ambitious. One of the strengths of sanguine is that they are speakers. They are good with speaking. They are very vocal. They are outspoken. So you can try and look at it. How can I leverage this strength of mine? You can try to become a public speaker, or you can be a coach, a trainer, and so on and so forth. So you can try to look at all these things one by one and see how it will be beneficial to you and to your team members in the work environment, in the organization. How can I manage other people's personality without having issues with them, without having conflicts of interest, or without fighting with them? How can I manage people? How can I relate with people? How can I have a good interpersonal relationship with people in such a way that we will have a healthy work environment and not a toxic work environment? A lot of people leave their jobs today because the environment is just too toxic. And the leaders or the managers involved cannot manage this part of the organization very well. So thank you once again for joining us in this training. I want to stop sharing my screen now, and I would like to take questions. So if you have any question as regards to what we have been learning so far, we have 5 minutes to do that. You can raise up your hand, or you use the chat button to do that. You can raise up your hand, or you use the chat button to do that. So in the next 5 minutes, I will love to have your questions. So what are the things that are not clear to you about this personality? Although, like I said, we have not finished and it's lots more deeper. So if maybe your company will be interested more in this training, or even any of our other trainings, you can always get in touch with us through our representative, Madam Liz. So you can always talk to us so that we can see how we can come on board as your trainer. We can even have a permanent contract with you whereby we'll be your trainee consultant for the year. So you just pick the trainings you want and we deliver it to you. So I am expecting your questions. I want to believe that this training is clear and we got value. So I want to believe that we understand. Okay, I have someone here who is raising his hand. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Coming here to also deliver this lecture. So on behalf of Mental Space, I would like to appreciate that. So straight to my question, we talked about different personalities and how to manage them. So for this set of persons, what I was expecting, what I expected personally is, I will direct my question to leadership. So leadership, how can you manage, as a leader, how can you manage this set of persons? You mentioned 4 categories of personalities. So how can you manage these persons as a leader?
Okay, as a leader, thank you very much for that question. Number one thing is understanding the personality types that we have. And that's what we have been doing since morning. Now, when you talk about how can you manage, we cannot really tell you specifically that this is how you'll be able to manage people. But based on their personality and based on the situation on ground, that is what will now determine how you'll be able to manage it. Now, let me give you a very good example. For instance, if you're a leader or a boss or a manager, and you have all these 4 types of personality in your team, you have some people that are choleric, some people are sanguine, some people are phlegmatic, and some people are melancholy. Now, let's assume that you gave them a task to do. You will know that sanguine people, they are not always serious. They are not serious people. They are playful. We call them playful sanguine. They are very playful. And if you don't give them that work on time, that's number one. They might not meet up with deadline. Because maybe they are supposed to work, they are already playing. Maybe on social media, listening to music or gisting all around the office. They will not do their work. So you have to emphasize to them, for instance, if you are dealing with a sanguine, you have to tell them, you know what, this job, I need to get it by before the close of business, or not before the close of business, tomorrow. So one of the ways you can manage a sanguine is that you give them deadlines. If you throw it open and say, just do this work for me, anytime you like, submit. 1 month, they might not submit. So, like I said, it depends on the situation on ground. That's how you will know what to do and how to manage them. So for sanguine, you give them a deadline. So when you give them a deadline, they already know that by tomorrow, my boss is expecting this thing, or my leader is expecting this thing. Now, another set of people is melancholy people. Melancholy people are overly detailed people. They want to cross all T's and dot all I's. Like everything must be on point. So while they are being detailed, they might be taking too much of time doing a particular task. So what you want to do is when you ask them, oh, are you done? Or what, even if you give them a deadline, like, okay, submit this thing to me tomorrow. And they're like, oh, boss, please, I've not finished that thing. And you need to give me more days, maybe 2 days, so that I can look at it. So you already know that this person is a melancholy person. You just be like, let me see what you're doing. Let me see where you are. At the end of the day, you may even discover that they are finished. But they just want to sit down with it for years and still be checking. And probably you don't have such time to go around and be checking. You're just like, okay, send it to me, let me see. So by the time you look at it, you might discover that it's something that is even completed already. They just want to take their time to check. So like I said, understanding personalities is what now will help you to be able to know. If you know that somebody is choleric, they are very, very domineering. You might want to put such people to be leaders of a team. For instance, if you have a project you want to do, because they are choleric, they have this leadership traits. They will be fantastic leader for that kind of project. So you might look at it and say, oh, who should I make the leader for this project? And like, oh, Adiola should be able to do this. She is choleric in nature. She has a choleric personality. So understanding personality is the first thing. Once you understand personality, it will be easy for you as a leader. So it's not a one fit method to all. It's not. It's a contagious contingency issue, depending on the situation. So that is how you will now know what to apply. And like phlegmatic, like I said, phlegmatic people are prone to laziness. If you give them the chance, they will not work. They will not do anything. Phlegmatic people are people who like to be pushing their tasks to other people. They will stylishly be pushing their work, something they are supposed to do. They will be pushing it to other colleagues to do for them. They are lazy people. So once you have those kind of people in your team, you put an eye on them to make sure that they do their job. If not, they would get nothing done. So I believe that answers your question. So someone is asking another question. How can someone have the 4 personality? Can someone have the 4 personality, or it needs to be niched down to 2? You can have the 4 personality. You can have 2. You can have 3. It depends. What is important is that you are able to pick the traits of each of these categories of personality. So, for instance, if you look at choleric and you see some of the traits, for me now, I can tell you the categorically that all the traits that I read out to you for choleric, like I have like 90% of them. So I can easily tell you I'm choleric. So if I look at phlegmatic, I can hardly see any traits that belongs to me. I can hardly. So I can't call myself a phlegmatic person. I am not cool. I'm not calm. I'm not lazy. I am not indecisive. I'm not all that. So I can't call myself a phlegmatic person. Melancholy, I think I share a little trait with melancholy in the sense that I pay attention to details, but not always anyway, dependent. So I can just categorically tell you that I am just sanguine and choleric. So it depends on if you are able to find your traits, some of the traits you possess in all of these 4 categories. So you might have 4, you might have 3, you might have 2, you might even have just 1, depending. But most of the time, you don't have 1. Most of the time, you don't have 1. It's minimum of 2. The second question is, can introvert lead? Yeah, introvert can lead, but it will take a conscious effort. They are not born leaders. They are not natural leaders. They are not born leaders. They don't have the quality, the traits of a leader. They don't have the charisma of a leader naturally. So it's something that you have to work it out. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like we all know that microwave is used for warming food. They don't use microwave to cook. But some people, they can still use microwave to cook noodles. So they can just work something out. So even though microwave does not cook, some people will still use it to make eba or make, you just find a way around it. So even though you are an introvert, if you want to decide, if you decide that you want to be a leader, you can intentionally work it out and start maybe taking leadership courses and going for leadership training, attending seminars, conferences around leadership and all that. So I believe it's possible. There is nothing that is not possible in this world. Although an extrovert might not be able to fit into an introvert, because I've tried to be an introvert a few times, but it's not working. So I really don't know about that other one. But yes, introverts can lead and introverts can be a leader. Do we have any other question? So in the absence of any other question, I will hand over to Ms. Bliss to close the meeting, to close the training. Thank you once again, and I believe you got value.
Thank you so much for this session. If you got value, can you just type in the chat box